Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? I just wanted to leave a short podcast. I haven't been able to sit down and really do my podcast like I've said in other episodes. Definitely always running and moving. I have two daughters, as I mentioned before, and both of my daughters are in competitive sports. My 13-year-old, she is a swimmer. She's been swimming for about 4 years now. She's a competitive swimmer. She has practice 4 times a week for 2 hours a day, and then she has swim meets. And then my 16-year-old, she is a competitive cheerleader, and she has practice 3 times a week. And right now we're in competition season for both of them, actually. My daughter who swims, her meets are right now, and competition season is right now. So literally, if I'm not working, I'm driving somebody to practice, I'm taking somebody to a swim meet, I'm taking somebody to cheer practice, and I feel like I'm non-stop. I'm sure a lot of other moms can relate to this, especially if you're doing a lot of this running on your own. You just feel like there is no time to yourself. I feel like I'm always on the go. Sometimes I don't even remember that I didn't eat. And now when people come up to me and say, "Oh my goodness, you look so good for your age," or "Oh my goodness, how do you stay so fit?" Literally, I'm just going to say, have kids who play sports and be the sole person who does all the running around, and then you'll have your answer. So this weekend, which I was really excited about, my cheerleader, we did a competition in Disney. It's the UCA Nationals, United Cheer Association. I think that's what UCA stands for. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. But every year they do international nationals, which is phenomenal. When I tell you, there were teams from Costa Rica, Mexico, Brazil, Canada, the US, I mean, everywhere. And there were kids as young as 4. And, obviously teenagers up to the age of 19. And it was just amazing. I mean, I had such a great time. My kids had such a great time. It was such a team, what's the word I'm looking for? Environment. It was such a team environment. I mean, there were cheerleaders everywhere, parents everywhere, families everywhere, really going hard for their kid, and I loved every minute of it. Once again, I was running around a lot. My cheerleader, she had practice, and she was hanging out with all her little cheer sisters, and I was really excited because this was my 13-year-old's first time going to Disney World. She's been to Universal because she did swim camp a couple of years back, and in Florida actually, and they took the kids to Universal on their breaks. This was her first time going to Disney, and I was really happy because, her sister, my 16-year-old, has been to Disney. Well, I mean, she went when she was young, but she's been to Disney about three or 4 times. She's already been to Disney. She doesn't really remember it because she was little, but my 13-year-old has never been, and so, her birthday is at the end of this month. She's going to be 14, and I was really happy that I could take her and make it a little bit about a birthday, too. I got her a couple of souvenirs. Our favorite Disney movie is The Little Mermaid. It was my favorite growing up. I used to watch it with my dad nonstop, 100 times a day, and he never complained. And so, of course, I wanted to share that experience with my kids. My oldest daughter, she liked Little Mermaid when she was little, typical little girl, but she kind of grew out of that. That's not really her thing. But my second daughter, my 13-year-old, I mean, me and her were obsessed. She was obsessed with Little Mermaid when she was little. Little Mermaid and Tinkerbell, those were her Disney favorites, and she even had a Little Mermaid party. I took her to see Little Mermaid on Broadway, so it's kind of our thing. And so she got herself a Little Mermaid phone case and a cup, and we just had a really good time. But I just want to talk about the fact that the competition was phenomenal. I mean, I don't know. Before my daughter joined cheerleading, I never even thought about it. I did think about joining cheerleading in high school, but I went to high school with a bunch of mean girls. So unfortunately, I didn't stay too long. I ended up also being a swimmer. I swam all through high school, and I danced. I stopped dancing when I was around 16, 17 is when I stopped dancing. But so I had started dancing when I was 4, and I danced from the age of 4 all the way up until I was about 16, 17. But then in high school, I joined the swim team, and I swam through high school, and it was like, some of the best times of my life. And I made really good friends on the swim team. And so I love to swim, but I was interested in cheerleading, and no, I didn't stay on the team, but I definitely didn't follow it and watch it back then. When I watched these young girls and young boys do all of these flips and turns, and I mean, these teams, I mean, they're working their butts off, guys. It was just, and this was, like I said, this was me and my daughter's first time doing the international nationals in Florida. She's been on this team for 3 years, my daughter. And I think this is their second time going. I'm not sure if they have gone before this, but we weren't on the team yet, and it was just amazing. I mean, I really had a great time, and it was just good, And it's an experience that me and my girls will have forever, with pictures and, just the facet, just talking to other parents. And, I don't know. I just wanted to share it because it was a really, really, really good weekend. And it's just something that, me and the kids will know about forever and ever. So, like I said, I haven't really been able to leave a podcast. I know there's been a lot going on in the world, news-wise, important news, and then, of course, entertainment news. Is unfortunately a lot been going on. I didn't see it, but I read somewhere on social media about Jussie Smollett being charged, and then I can't even go into right now the Michael Jackson documentary, which I refuse to watch, just in case anybody was wondering, because I think it's all lies on top of lies on top of lies. I don't even understand it. Like, I can't. It's a no. It's a no for me with that. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to support it because I don't believe it. But anywho, so I know there's been a couple of things going on. I saw it this morning when I was on my way to work, a young mother and young father were murdered in their home. I'm just like, what is going on? It's just so much going on. But I mentioned it, of course, but I just wanted to, kind of just speak on the fact of I had such a great weekend with my kids. I had really, really good weekend with them. And I enjoyed being out in Florida. I got to see a cousin who came to support and watch my daughter cheer. And I just want to let you guys know that I'm still here. I know that you lose followers, you lose listeners, unfortunately, if you don't, update this stuff every day, and I'm not on here, and I'm not tweeting, and I'm not doing all this other stuff. But unfortunately, as I stated in my previous post, there's just a lot going on right now with me. I have a few family members that aren't doing too good with health. I have a full-time job, and then I have to come home and I have to take care of my kids. And thank goodness they're a little older, but I still have to cook for them. I still got to take them where they got to go. And I've also been battling, what I want to do, future-wise. I'm 35 years old. I'm going to be, I'm going to be 36 next month. I don't even understand how that, how that happened. But, I just feel like I'm in a rut. I had a plan to, I had a job that I had initially thought about taking. It was all set up. I was going to go, and I did turn down the job. I had to turn it down for a lot of reasons. I had to turn down the job because it required me to be away for this first 16-week training. And unfortunately, with me having some ill family members, I really don't have anyone to help out with the kids, and just take them to their sports, make sure everything is good. Even though 16 and my soon to be 14-year-old, they're not babies, but they're still kids. They don't drive. I live in the West Bubblefuck boondocks, and I have to take them everywhere. And then they have all these competitions. This year, my 13-year-old graduates from 8th grade. I mean, it's as all parents, 8th grade's a big deal. She's going to be a freshman in high school in September, and then her sister's going to be a senior. I mean, I just had so much going on that I had to turn down this job, but it's really making me reevaluate what I want to do. The career that I've been in for so long because this is just where my life has fallen. But as I stated when I first started this podcast, doing things like this was something I definitely thought about. I wanted to go into radio for a brief moment. I wanted to do like voiceovers, maybe even some modeling. I wanted to dabble in a lot of entertainment things, but being a young mom and having to focus more on taking care of my kids and working and paying bills and, getting out of a sucky relationship, things like that took over my hopes and dreams. And, it's not my kids' fault because I chose to have them. But this is just a side note. This is why I tell people don't have kids till you're ready. It doesn't mean that you have to wait till you're 40. But what I'm saying is, really, these last couple of years have been nothing but my kids, my kids, my kids. Not the last couple of years, the last 16 years, almost 17, because my 16-year-old will be 17 this year. You know what I'm saying? So the last 17 years has been nothing but me making sure that I do what I have to do for my kids, work overtime, take classes and then not take classes. And, if I can't do both, drop out and then try again. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what my life has been. It's the life I chose because I chose to have my kids and I was young when I had them. But I'm really starting to think about what I want to do, where I want to go, because I can now, like I said, with the kids being older, I can start thinking about that. I can start focusing on myself, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm not too sure, where I want to go now that I've turned down this job that's very important. That was a really good job, really good paying job, but just did not fit for me right now. And it wasn't an easy decision. I really had to sit down and do pro and con list, and I'm good for a pro con list, and really sit down and decide what I want to do. So I'm, that's one of the reasons why I said, let me do a quick podcast tonight, because doing this podcast is important to me. It is something that, doesn't matter where it goes, even if I have one listener, it's something that makes me feel good. It's something that I have been debating on doing, and it's something that I want to say that I at least gave it a try. And, I say that, I have a public Instagram where I'm not too sure where I'm trying to go with my Instagram. I've been kind of just posting personal things that I'm using, things that I'm trying. I feel like that's what everyone's doing. That's not the route I wanted to go. But even my Instagram is like slacking, like I'm not on top of it. I want my Instagram and my podcast and my website, which I haven't posted on my webpage in a while, which I am working on my next web post. But I want them all to kind of go hand in hand with me. And me, the person I am, is someone who, I guess was, because I'm not a teen anymore, but I was a teen mom. I was in a very bad, very difficult and a horrible domestic violence relationship. I